Welcome. We're glad that you can join us as we have something exciting that we want to share with you. Pastor, you were telling something to me about creation and goals and objectives at the beginning here. Share with us what you were sharing.
That's right. In the book of Genesis, it says that God created the heavens and the earth. But have you ever stopped to notice how he went about doing that process?
Yeah.
It seems like he had a very defined procedure. Day by day, he focused on completing different objectives. And at the end of it all, he said it was very good.
It's true. We see that throughout Scripture, really, when you think about the temple, building the wall, building the ark, and even the promises that God gave to his patriarchs. We see that type of goal being set, something that they could look forward to in regarding the promises of God. That's similar to what we've been discussing and thinking about regarding our own church. And I know this is nothing new, but we were excited about the possibilities of having each ministry consider their goals and objectives for the coming term. And considering we're just having nominating committee, it seems like a good time to implement this concept. Pastor, tell us a little bit about what this looks like, these goals and objectives.
So we're hoping that each ministry of the church, each department, would go ahead and think actively about what they'd like to accomplish specifically. And that in doing so, it'll be something we can refer to as a church
Right.
to encourage one another in accomplishing those things, as well as making sure that we are maximizing our effectiveness in doing the work of the Lord.
So, difference between a goal and objective. A goal is broad. These are the big things this is why we want to exist this coming term. The objectives, I'm hearing, are more specific, right?
That's right. Objectives are specific things that'll help you accomplish that broad goal.
That goal, right. So, let's take an example. Men's ministries. That's safe. We don't have a men's ministries, at least currently. And so, let's say John Doe has just been nominated to serve as men's ministries leader. He, as a leader, will sit down and define some goals and objectives, and in his committee will come together, and together they will decide, is this something we want to do, and form those goals and objectives in a more concrete fashion. An example might be, a goal is that we want our fathers to be stronger parents in the home, stronger leaders in the home. So how are we going to make encourage fathers to be stronger and more effective? Well, that's the goal. The objectives now have to make us achieve that goal. So a couple objectives might be, one, we plan to have a retreat. Now remember, a goal or an objective has to be specific. In fact, it needs to be specific, it needs to be measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And so if those 4 or 5 criteria are present, that you can pretty much bank on the fact that you're going to be able to know at the end whether you achieved that objective. So that objective might be for making better fathers. We're going to have a retreat. It's going to be at the Oaks, and it's going to be the second weekend in June, and all fathers are going to be invited to attend. That is an attainable, measurable, specific, relevant, time-bound objective that will help us reach that goal. Another might be that we're going to have a small group on studying the book of Wild at Heart. Okay? Wild at Heart. And we're going to study that book over beginning the last Friday of February, and every Friday night for however long the chapters are in the book at the pastor's home. Okay? So I just hope you can see that these are 2 objectives that will help us reach this goal, and as a board we can see, have they been able to be successful in reaching those goals? That goal.
Good example.
So what's the process look like here at Greeneville? What's this timeline look like as far as how to implement this?
So here's how we envision the process working. The nominating committee is currently at work, and they'll be making some nominations of different leaders for different departments. When someone is nominated as a leader, they will receive a letter detailing this information that we'd like them to put together, these goals and objectives, as well as sort of a worksheet they can work off of. And what we'd like them to do is prayerfully think about what goals and objectives God might be calling them and their committee to fulfill in the upcoming term, whether that's a year or 2 years. And then the reason we have the leader think of this ahead of time is so that then he will meet with his committee as soon as that committee has been formed, and that then they will have a chance to review that and work off it as they make something final that can be turned into the pastors sometime before or on January 31st.
And then from there, after the pastors and staff have been able to review that, it will come to board on the second Monday of February, specific, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the board will look over the goals of the various ministries and objectives. And once those have been voted and approved, then that will be placed in the notebook of each board member.
Mm-hmm.
So that when that ministry leader, who is a representative on the board, comes to make a proposal, we can see how is this addressing your objectives and overall your goals. At the midterm, which will be around January of 2016, halfway through your term, we as a board will do a sort of an evaluation of each other and see how are we doing regarding our objectives and our goals. That is sort of an encouragement and a pick-me-up, if you will, to help us stay on task throughout the term. At the end of the 2-year term, which is at the end of 2016, by God's grace, we trust that we can celebrate the accomplishments of each ministry and how they have sought to build on what they plan to do at the beginning of their term.
That's going to be exciting.
It'll be very exciting, and it'll give us a better picture of what God is doing at the Greeneville Seventh-day Adventist Church. So anything as we conclude?
Nope. We just hope that this will allow us all to be more effective in the mission that we have been given.
May God bless us and give us the grace that is needed to accomplish the goals and objectives that He has set for Greeneville.